Sometimes things happen. So I am here today and ready to go. In five, four, three, two. Oh, welcome to the show. Glad you guys could join me again today. Bumper music's playing in the background. And we're going to jump into this thing in just a few more seconds. Hope you guys are enjoying your Wednesday. It's officially March. That's right. We're getting some spring showers coming up in the next few days. Get those plants in the ground. All right, here we go. Good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Real Estate Connection with your host, Stephen Thayard, Realtor. We're coming out of the cities of San Francisco, Oakland, San Jose, San Martin, Morgan Hill, and Gilroy. Thank you for joining me this morning as we get ready to talk about all things real estate in Northern California and the San Francisco Bay Area. Wow, we just had elections. Can you believe it? And we're already in the month of March. Yes, those primaries have come and gone, and you have all cast your vote for your preferred candidate, whether you be on the Democrat side or the Republican side. We are all exercising our civic duty in this constitutional republic to choose public servants to represent us in the halls of government, whether it be in Washington, D.C., or the state or your local community at the city council level or the county level. Anyway, enough of that. I hope you're doing well. We are at a poise and ready to go as far as springing forward. That's right, we're going to lose an hour of sleep. That's happening this Saturday night, so do not forget to spring forward an hour. I know all of us have our technical equipment, our smartphones, our digital watches, so they should do that for us. Back in the day, if you didn't remember to set your watch forward, you were going to be late for church in the morning. So we have an assist now with the technology, and so that's great. This time of year also brings with us, we start to see cherry blossoms and the promise of new life in the spring. New animals are being born. That's right, birds are chirping. We have cows and chickens and new life being brought forth. That's right. With new life comes new blessings. So given that we are in the month of the Irish holiday of St. Patrick, I would like to read another blessing over you again this week. I think we'll keep it as a theme as we move forward through the month of March. So here we go. Listen and be blessed. But blessed is the one who trusts in the Lord, whose confidence is in him. They will be like a tree planted by the water, that sends out its roots by the stream. It does not fear when heat comes. Its leaves are always green. It has no worries in a year of drought and never fails to bear fruit. Jeremiah 17, 7 through 8. So I hope that is a blessing to you as the heat comes. Be blessed and know that your leaves will always be green, as in the theme of St. Patrick's Day this month of March. So keeping with the theme of blessings, I would like to continue to bless you with a market update that I started last week. Now, last week we jumped into Alameda County and we rolled through all of the cities and kind of gave a 30,000 foot overview and drilled down into your local market in the county of Alameda. This week, we're going to look at Santa Clara County from 30,000 feet and drill down into your local market city by city. And I hope that you guys will find it interesting and personal to you as we move through. Also, to keep this thing rolling and not have it be kind of dry as market updates can be sometimes, I'm going to throw in another personal anecdotal story about the life of a realtor and how things go down sometimes in real estate when we're trying to do the ethical thing and there are outside forces that are tempting us to close deals with not so ethical behavior. I think you'll enjoy this story. Also, I'd like to continue on with this theme of blessings, and I would like to bless you before we get this party started. If you email me for a no obligation appointment to give you an estimate on the value of your home, or just sit down to discuss the prospect of buying a home, I have a gift for you. That's right. I'd like to give you a copy of a book called The Family Preparedness Buyer's Guide. This is a must-have book for any family preparing for any emergency. This bestseller will provide you and your loved ones with information on the best survival gear, tools and weapons of your skills and budget. Also, a survival approach. It provides practical tips and theories as far as emergency shelter is concerned when it's hot outside and you have no more air conditioning and you're sheltering in place, or it's really cold outside and you don't have heat in your house anymore. Also, how to build fire, what kind of clothing you need, emergency food, how to prep it when you don't have electricity to cook, and cooking gear that's necessary to get that food into your stomach. Also, an approach on what types of food to eat, communication and navigation, and survival weapons, such as handguns, knives, and swords. In the old days, people used to use swords instead of guns, and there was a reason for that. It's a long, extended weapon, and you can defend yourself against multiple attackers. So if you run out of ammunition, you might want to consider having a sword in your arsenal. So that's something that people don't think about. Now, I have a copy of this book for you. It's easy to read if you contact me. Let's get down to business. One more thing I want to add in real quick. If you're looking to sponsor a show as this one, and you'd like to be on the radio every week and have your business spoken about as it relates to the real estate market, please contact me directly at info@realestateconnectionradio.com. Or if you have a business that maybe you'd like to be on the show to talk about and share with thousands of people on a Saturday morning, contact me there as well. And I'd love to have you on, and we can talk about maybe even a sponsorship as well. So as I digress, let's get down to business. So the market, as we know, has already started. And last week, we jumped into the county of Alameda. This week, we're going to delve into Santa Clara County, and the information that I'm going to provide to you today comes from the California Association of Realtors. I pulled this data from them. They compile it as the months move along. Yes, I do know that we are in March and we're talking about January data. However, I did go into the database before this show started to see if the February numbers were out, and they are not. So as of right now, we are still going to be talking about the month of January, but I still think that it will be useful for you to hear. So let's start off at 30,000 feet for the month of January for Santa Clara County. So home sales for the month of January, as far as closed escrows are concerned, were 419 for the month of January in 2020. It is down 5% from the same month last year. Active listings for the entire county are 565 as of this same month, and they are down 36.9%. So year over year, we're down from where we were last year, which is indicating to me that inventory is still tight. Existing single-family home pricing, as far as median price on the market for the entire county of Santa Clara, is $1.2 million, and this is up 1.3% from last year. So we still are seeing appreciation in the market, even though 2019 was a little bit slower of a year as compared to 2017 and parts of 2018, when the market was on fire and it was roasting. And we were seeing multiple offers, and oftentimes 50,000 to 100,000 over asking. So we're still going up, but we're still not at that same velocity that we were last year. The median days on market for the entire county is 19, but this is a blend of all cities. Remember that. Some cities are hot and some cities are a little bit cool. Marco says I have, 30 seconds left? So we're going to wrap right now before we get into sales to list price ratio. And when we get back and from our break, we're going to wrap up 30,000 feet for Santa Clara County and start digging into the cities. So stay with me, and I'll see you at the other side of the break. Yeah, we are rocking and rolling. I hope y'all are joining me again today. I'm going to get into an anecdotal story too, so it's not just going to be a straight market update. But if you do miss any of this, you can watch the re-recording of it on Periscope, also Facebook, also YouTube, because we are broadcasting live on all three platforms. So stay with me. I'm going to ask Marco to turn up the intro music as we continue to roll through the Santa Clara County market update for March 4th, 2020. Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. I hope you maybe grabbed a cup of coffee and you're digging in. Maybe took out a notebook and a piece of paper and a pencil so you can write down what's going on in Santa Clara County for real estate on the market update that we're going through on today's show. Before we went to the break, we were rolling through at 30,000 feet what the entire county looks like for Santa Clara as far as the market update for the month of January. As I said before, we do not have February numbers in yet from the California Association of Realtors. I did check before we came on air. However, they have not compiled them yet. Before we went to the break, we were talking about the median days on market as far as how long it takes a house from the time it gets listed until an offer gets accepted. And for the whole entire county for January 2020, we're looking at 19 days. Now, you have to take this with a grain of salt because we're also pulling in homes that were listed for sale in the prior year in 2019 that maybe had been sitting on market for a very long time. But 19 is still a pretty good number as the county as a whole. Sales to list price ratio is 100%. So as a county as a whole, the list price to sales price is about 100% of asking for the entire county. As far as price reductions are concerned, and we're seeing those in the market, folks, not every house is going over asking right away. Sometimes we're seeing price reductions before that happens, or 100% of asking price. So for the percentage of listing price reduced for the market is 18.6% for the entire county. So that's what the county looks like at 30,000 feet. So let's drill down city by city as we look at the county as a whole. And we're going to do this by alphabetical order. So our first city that we're going to tackle is Campbell. Now, Campbell is a beautiful little hamlet out there, a great place to go out for a bite to eat or do some antiquing. Has a very cool nightlife. All you people that live out in Campbell, you know what I'm talking about. So for January of 2020, the total sales of homes for the city of Campbell within Santa Clara County was a grand total of 11, which is up 22% from the prior year. Active listings in Campbell for the same month are 16, and that's up 6.7%. So you can see how the markets city by city will vary from the county, and it'll give you an idea of what's going on in your particular market. The median price list for a house in Campbell is $1,350,000. Now that's down 2.9%. The median days on market for Campbell are 33. So it takes on average 33 days before a house goes into contract for the city. And the sales to list price ratio is 97.6%. So for the city of Campbell, there's some downward pressure, and the market is a little bit cooler as it compares to the entire county. The number or the percentage of listings being produced that are active are 37.5%. So again, that indicates some downward pressure in the market from buyers not willing to pay full price as houses initially get offered for sale in the city. So that's very interesting. Campbell is not really hot, but it's not super cold either. There's just a little bit of a pushback from buyers that are going on in the city, but houses are still selling. Just note for sellers out there, be careful not to overprice your house and look at the market around you so you're not sitting too long if you need to buy a replacement property or move quickly. All right, so let's jump into Cupertino. Now, Cupertino is known for its really robust education system. The schools are rated really high. Plus, it's in the center of Silicon Valley with short commutes to most high tech companies, and so it's very popular. And it continues to be popular even in January of 2020. Existing single family home sales for the month of January are 9, which is down 40% from the prior year. Active listings available for sale in January are 13, which is down 7.1%. That means inventory is tight out in Cupertino. The median price out there is $2.25 million, and that is up 2.3%. However, days on market out in Cupertino are 29, so it's taking almost a month before houses are selling. They're not hitting the market and evaporating like they used to in 2017 or in prior years, where you would put the house up for sale and you would have an offer on it within a week and you'd be moving on to onto your next destination. So the sales price to list price ratio in Cupertino is 100%. So that is matching what the full county is at for the entire county of Santa Clara, 100% of asking price. And the percentage of active listings that are being reduced as a whole for the city of Cupertino is 7.7%. So Cupertino is holding strong, doing well. Houses are selling. They're getting 100% of value, but they're not jumping off the market as quickly as they used to. So let's go ahead and turn the page to our next city, which is in the very southernmost part of Santa Clara County, and that's the garlic capital of the world, Gilroy. All right, we're going to move into Gilroy for January of 2020. We have existing single-family residence home sales of 28 total for January, and that is up 47.4%. So houses are selling as we start the year. Now, as far as active listings are concerned, for the whole entire city, the total is 58, which is down 9.4% or almost 10%. So we do have a slight decrease from the prior year as far as listings are concerned in the city of Gilroy. So we're kind of flat as far as year over year comparison. Existing single family pricing in the city is $775,000 as the median price, and that's down 3% from the prior year. Now, this is what the interesting number is as far as Gilroy is concerned. The median days on market for the city as of January are 65 days on market. Now, we need to take this with a grain of salt. So that's almost 2 months. I think what's skewing this number is the fact that you had houses that were listed for sale in 2019 that weren't selling, that started to sell as we hit the new year, as the market started to take off on us. So we're bringing in listings that were sitting in October, November, maybe November and December, that were hitting, finally being put into contract in January, which is skewing this number. We'll check again as we get towards the end of the first quarter here in 2020 and see if this number is adjusting as we're moving into listings that have been coming on the market in January, February, and March and selling, to see if this number is moving down. But again, I think it's skewed because the market was a little bit flatter in 2019, and now those houses are moving in 2020. As far as sales to list price ratio, we're looking at 98.4%, which is almost 100% of asking price, which is good. That's a good sign that the market is moving and that houses are holding their value. There has been a push from buyers, and plus the talk of recession and the timing as far as bubbles are concerned out there. that I think slowed buyers down, and we're trying to drive prices down, but we're not seeing the sellers reduce their prices. They're holding strong at 98.4%, and the percentage of listings that are being reduced is 27.6% in the city of Gilroy. So if you're in Gilroy and you're listing your house, pay attention to fair market value. Do not go over fair market value, but be careful not to list it too low because we're not seeing multiple offers and housing values being pushed. So you need to start at fair market value is my advice. And if you're not getting activity, then you might make a slight adjustment as the house sits on the market for maybe a couple of weeks to bring it in line to what buyers are looking for, but don't give up the farm. All right, so Marco said I had a minute, which probably means I'm down to around 30 seconds. When we get back from the break, we're going to jump into the city of Los Altos, and we'll let you know what's going on there, and we'll continue to move through each city in Santa Clara County to give you an idea of what's going on in your local market and not just what's happening for the entire county. So stay with me. When we get back from paying some bills, we'll keep diving into our market update, and that's it. We'll see you when we get back. All right, I had to stretch it a little bit for my people that are watching me live, but that's all right. We'll just keep rolling through as we do here on this show. Okay, so let me see. Los Altos is next, the high rent district in Santa Clara County. Let's start up the bumper music and keep going. Hey everybody, welcome back to the show with our Santa Clara County market update. We started off with looking at the entire county as a whole, and now we are rolling through city by city because real estate is truly local. And the local markets are important for you to know. You can look at the county and get a general idea of what's going on, but each city has its own story to tell, and each neighborhood within the city has its own story to tell. But we're not going to dig deep and dive too far into the weeds with neighborhoods. We're just going to stick to cities. And before we went to the break, we were moving into the town of Los Altos. Everybody loves Los Altos. It's along the peninsula. It's very green, high rent district. It's beautiful out there. And God bless you if you're living out there because you're living the good life. All right, so let's dig into Los Altos. All right, so existing single-family home sales out there in the beautiful town of Los Altos. We had total sales of 7, God's complete number, in January of 2020, which is down 12.5%. So let's see what our inventory looks like. Active listings in Los Altos for the month of January was 28, which is up 40%. So what does that tell us? I'm not quite sure. Let's keep going through the statistics and see if we can get an idea of what's happening in the town of Los Altos. Existing single-family residence median pricing is $3,600,000, which is up 31% from January of 2019. And the median days on market are 17, which is telling me that homes are moving pretty fast out in the town of Los Altos, even though active listing inventory is up, which is a good sign. That means the market is still robust out there in Los Altos. Sales price to list price ratio, 96.8%. Not quite 100%. We're seeing almost a 3.2% haircut out there. As far as what buyers are willing to pay, and percentage of active listings that are being reduced are 7.1%. So buyers out there are basically paying fair market value, probably based on location and updates in the property and size and things of that nature. But still a pretty robust market out in Los Altos, and still expensive. $3.6 million as your median price point. is still a very big number for that town. So congratulations to the people in Los Altos. If you're looking to list your house, make sure again that you're paying attention to fair market value in your particular neighborhood, and try not to overprice it and shoot for the moon. And because equity doesn't mean anything until it's money in the bank, and you have to get somebody to write a check for your property. So we're going to move down from Los Altos into the town of Los Gatos. Very popular town, very nice, beautiful scenery backdrop that Los Gatos sits in. People go out there just to visit on the weekends, go out to dinner. Absolutely fantastic town, high end, but a great mix of just about everything out there: restaurants, shopping, the whole nine. So we're going to look at Los Gatos for January of 2020. So existing single family residence home sales for that month are 28, which is up 33.3%. So the market is moving. And then active listings were 60, which are down 15.5%. So the market is tightening up as far as inventory is concerned. The existing single family median price point is $1,600,000, which is down, interestingly enough, 25.5%. That's interesting. So there's been downward pressure in the market out in Los Gatos. The time it takes for you to get into contract, the median time is 30 days. So if you're looking to sell a house in LG, we're looking at 30 days. But again, there could be some bleed over from December of 2019. The sales to list price ratio is 97.5%, not quite 100%, and the percentage of active listings being reduced in the town is 25%. So 25% of all active listings are seeing a price reduction. So buyers are looking for bargains, they're being patient, they're waiting, they've got an idea of what they want to spend, and since they are patient, they're seeing they're getting that price reduction out of sellers. So it's okay. We're still doing very well out there. Houses are still moving, but the median price point has taken a 25% haircut out in Los Gatos. So sellers and buyers, take note and take the appropriate action. All right, let's move in to the town of Milpitas. Very nice town out there, and we're going to take a look at January of 2020. Existing single-family sales in January were 9, which are down 50%. Active listings, 12. Very tight market in January, down 47.8%. The median price point for the town of Milpitas is $1 million. They also, though, are down 5.2%, and the median days on market are 32. However, the sales to list price ratio out there is 103.4%. So people must think that Milpitas is a place to go get a bargain still in this market, and they're paying over asking out there. The percentage of active listings reduced is only 8.3%. So Milpitas seems to be a hot market. If you're looking to sell out there, price appropriately, and I hope you get your 3.4% bump in list price to sales price on your what am I looking for? On your offers. So I'm gonna pull. Yes, right. I'm gonna pull this thing over, and I'm gonna insert a little story right now. I'm gonna talk about something that happened to me probably about 7 or 8 years ago. It was in the beginning of the recovery. So I believe we were in about 2008, 2009 timeframe. I had a client that needed to sell their condominium, and they were upside down, as a lot of people were in the valley. And so this was a short sale in the Evergreen area of San Jose. It was over by a very famous pizzeria called Chuck E. Cheese. And it was a nice little townhouse. They'd done some updates, and we were on the market for a while. And I had a very creative real estate agent come to me with an offer on the property and presented it to me. And it was at the price point that my clients were looking to sell it at. But there was an interesting addendum or proposal in the agreement. They were looking to get some repair work done on the property that actually didn't need to be repaired. So let me back up a little bit. In a real estate transaction, a buyer is not allowed legally to get any cash out on their loan. You can get a loan for the purchase of the home or even a loan to get repair work done on the property, but you can't receive any cash proceeds from the purchase of the house. What this realtor was proposing was that he submit bills from a contractor into the escrow company to have those bills be paid to the contractor at close of escrow. But then the contractor was going to give that money to the buyer as a way to get cash out of the deal. Now, I said, that's not legal. And he said, but I've done it a few times and, as long as they don't know. I basically told this guy, it's not worth my real estate license to do this so that I possibly could get sued or wind up in jail. I don't look good in orange, by the way. I really don't. So we backed away from that deal. The house didn't wind up selling because we didn't get an offer. But this is what we're talking about in real estate. Sometimes you're hungry for some cash and the deals aren't coming, but you still have to do the right thing. My client didn't sell the house, but we did the right thing. All right, so that was my little story, my anecdotal story for this week. When we get back from the break, we're going to jump into the town of Morgan Hill, a town near and dear and close to my heart as I lived in that part of the world before. And we'll get into what the market looks like for the South County. We're going to move up from Gilroy to Morgan Hill. So we'll see you when we get back from the break. All right, we're rocking and rolling. How many more segments do we have? All right, we got to get through some cities. Some cities by the bay. We have a few to get through, and I definitely want to hit San Jose. I've got to talk to them about some issues. All right, let's get into Morgan Hill. Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. We are going through a Santa Clara County market update, and we're going to jump right into the town of Morgan Hill. Now, Morgan Hill has changed a lot over the years. It's starting to look a little bit like a Los Gatos or a Campbell or even a downtown Mountain View. Lots of beautiful restaurants, wineries, set in a beautiful setting just about a 25-minute drive south of San Jose. Beautiful homes in the town, and it's just a really nice place to live if you want to raise a family and have not the hustle and bustle of a San Jose. So for January of 2020, existing homes that sold were 19, which is up 11.8%, and active listings were only 36 for the entire city, which is down 36.8%. Inventory is tight. Existing single-family residences, as far as the median price point, was $935,000 for January of 2020, which is down 8.3%. A little bit of a downward pressure on the pricing in Morgan Hill. However, median days on market were 53. And I checked this again for February before I came to the show today, and they were at 47. Now, I spoke to a realtor at a broker tour meeting today, a good friend of mine, and he was saying that he thinks that it was because of existing inventory that was still on the market in December and November. And he might be right. So we're going to look at this again, like I said, at the end of the first quarter to see if that number is shrinking. Now, the sales to list price ratio was 97.3%, and 25% of all active listings were seeing a price reduction. So there is some downward pressure downward pressure that existed in 2019 that is spilling over into 2020 in Morgan Hill and Gilroy. So this is one of those things, though, where buyers were complaining that there was too much competition in the marketplace and it was hard for them to get a house. Now you can negotiate a little bit, but sellers are not giving up the farm. We're seeing less than 2%, less than 3% as far as price reduction to offer amount because sellers are pushing back. Again, there's a lot of equity in the market and real cash behind it, and people who are very qualified to obtain the home loans in these houses. So they're not walking away from the money that's invested. So even though there's pressure from buyers to reduce pricing, sellers are either pulling their houses off the market and waiting, or they're waiting for an offer that fits what they want as far as pricing is concerned. So we're going to move into Mountain View. So for January of 2020, existing single-family home sales are 8, which is up 33.3%, and active listings are 14, which is down 26.3%. The existing median price point in Mountain View is 2.17 million, and it's basically a flat line year to year. It's saying it's up 0.1%, but basically it's about the same. Median days on market are 42. Again, it could be bleeding over from December of 2019. And the sales to list price ratio is 99.1%. Again, sellers are holding the line, even though there's pressure from buyers to push the pricing down. Sellers are not going down in price, even if it takes them longer to get the house sold. Now, the percentage of active listings that are being reduced is 21.4%. So they're reducing, but based on the median price point, they're not reducing all that much. And it's probably sellers anticipating getting more than market value and adjusting to market value. So we're going to roll into the town of Palo Alto, home of the Stanford of Stanford football, home of Stanford soccer, and just home of Stanford. Existing single-family sales, 14, down 26.3%, and active listings are 38, which is no change from the prior year. And existing single-family home median price point is $3,540,000, which is up 30.4%. So values in Palo Alto seem to be increasing. Median days on market are 43, so again, sellers are waiting for that right offer. And sales to list price ratio is 97.1%. Again, sellers are holding the line and not reducing the amount of the list price on their homes. And the percentage of active listings reduced are 23.7%. So we're going to roll into the town of San Jose. Okay, San Jose, I have a bone to pick with you. I had been speaking to you about Measure E, which was a measure put on the ballot by the city of San Jose asking you to vote to increase tax on yourselves. I checked the returns on the poll, and it appears that y'all did not listen to me and have voted to increase tax on yourself. The transfer tax in San Jose increase seems to be passing based on the percentage of ballots that have been counted. Y'all have just increased tax on yourself, and I don't understand why. I spoke to you about this at length. This was voluntary, was not mandatory. You did not have to do this to yourself. So now, it appears that all houses priced at $2 million or higher, Willow Glen, will now see a increase in the transfer tax when your homes are sold. And I don't know when this kicks in, but I'll get information back to you on that. And also for all you people that are on the border of Los Gatos, you're not quite in Los Gatos, but you're close enough to see that appreciation in value, this will affect you guys as well. I just don't understand it. But it is what it is. It is what it is. My prediction is that the city of San Jose will come back and lower that. That they will say, well, the citizens accepted this tax increase, and so that's a green light saying that they're okay with us increasing the transfer tax on the sale of real estate. And so my prediction is that they'll come back and ask for more and lower that ceiling, maybe even down to $1 million. And speaking of $1 million, the existing single-family residence median price point in San Jose is $1.11 million. So that's a lot of housing. So be on the lookout for that to come in the future. That's my personal prediction. Whether or not they do it, I don't know. We'll see. Existing single-family home sales for the entire city of San Jose, 245, which is down 5.4%. Active listings, 211, which is down 50.9%. So the inventory in San Jose is tight, and usually tighter inventory drives up pricing. So if you go over that $2 million mark in San Jose, it's going to cost you more to sell your house, and it's going to cost you more to buy a house. I already spoke about existing median price point out there. The days on market for the town of San Jose are 12. So San Jose is hot. It's a hot market. And sales to list price ratio for January is 101%. And we're only seeing about 13.3% of the active listings being reduced in San Jose. So San Jose is holding its own, holding steady, doing well as a whole, but y'all just voted to increase tax on yourselves, which was completely optional. I don't get it. I don't get it. You don't have to do these things. Just vote no. Vote no. When you go into the ballot, no. Just, put it in the no. No. No tax for me, please. That's it. It's real easy. Not that hard. Anyway, I digress. On to the town of Saratoga, as I have 2 minutes left in this segment. Existing single-family home sales in Saratoga, 13, up 18.2%. And active listings, 22, which is down 56.9%. So you have your evidence of a tight inventory market in the town of Saratoga. Existing single-family residents median price point in Saratoga, not San Jose, is $2.34 million. Now, just think, if that was San Jose, the tax on all y'all just would have went way up as far as the transfer tax on the sale of the property. So that $2,340,000 number is down 3.2%. But your days on market out in Saratoga are 42. Again, could be a bleed through from December of last year. And sales price to list price ratio is 96.9%. So there is some downward pressure. And your percentage of active listings being reduced is 9.1%. So Marco says I have a minute, so we're going to hold off before we finish off the show with our last but not least town of Sunnyvale. And you're going to want to stick around to hear about this because we have some interesting numbers coming out of Sunnyvale. And then when we get back from the break, we're going to wrap the show. And then I'm going to tease you with an overall 30,000 view of San Mateo County. I don't think we're going to do San Mateo next week because I think we're tired of market updates. But when we get back from the break, we'll finish up Santa Clara County and give you a 30,000 foot of San Mateo, and then we'll wrap it up for the week. All right, stay with me. We'll be back after the break. Okay, since I'm feeling kind of funky, we're going to keep on moving through, and I'm going to leave y'all with another blessing. But since it's the Irish holiday, it'll be a little bit of an Irish one, maybe. I don't know. I think it's kind of Irishy because it's kind of weird. I don't know. Whatever. I'm talking too much. I'm just going to be quiet. Let's keep rolling. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the show. We are wrapping it up. The Santa Clara County Market Update. And last but not least, the town of Sunnyvale, where it's always sunny, right? All right, so existing single-family residence home sales in the town of Sunnyvale, 12. So there is no change year after year as far as housing sold for January from 2019 to 2020. Now, active listings on the market were only 16, which is down 56.8%. Existing single-family residence median price point is $1.6 million, which is down 5.4%. So we're seeing some downward pressure from buyers in the town of Sunnyvale. However, median days on market are 16, which is quick. That means hit the market on a Monday, kind of have an offer in place by Monday or Tuesday the following week, and it's all wrapped up by Wednesday or Thursday, and you're in contract. Sales to list price ratio, 104.9%. So 4.9% over asking price. So people are still paying more for the house than what's listed at in Sunnyvale. So that's good for you sellers out there in Sunnyvale. And the percentage of active listings that are being reduced as far as the prices are concerned is 18.8%. So sellers out there, try not to over anticipate and get ahead of the market. If you price the house appropriately, you're going to see an appreciation on your list price of 4.9%. So that's a wrap on Santa Clara County as a whole. I hope you've enjoyed that and found it helpful for the city you're in. I'm just going to drop this on you before we get out of these market updates. For San Mateo County, for my folks up the peninsula, as a whole, 178 existing single-family homes sold in January, which is down 5.8%, and active listings 305, which is down 18.2%. So the market is tightening up in Sunnyvale. And 1.42 million is your existing median price point in San Mateo as a whole for the county, and it's down 1.9%. Median days on market are 21. And the sales to list price ratio is 100% once you have your listing at the appropriate price, because we're seeing a percentage of active listings being reduced of 20.3%. Thank you, Don. I appreciate that. That's it for San Mateo County. It looks like the market's pretty strong up there, but sellers, beware. Do not overprice your listings. If you price it right, you're going to get 100% active. But if you price it high, buyers will wait until you reduce it to an appropriate price point, because we're seeing 20.3% of listings reduced. So Marco says I have 2 minutes. I'm going to leave you with this. I read this on my Instagram feed, and I found it pretty interesting since we're in the month of March with St. Patrick's Day. That's right. This is your Irish blessing of the day. Everybody wants happiness, but nobody wants pain. You can't have a rainbow without a little rain. That's right. That's right. And that's your Irish blessing at the end of today's show. I want to thank you guys for joining me. Again, if you want more information about me and my business and helping you all out with getting your house sold or helping you get into a property, contact me at info@realestateConnectionRadio.com. And I thank you for joining me for today's show. I appreciate your support, because without you, I wouldn't be here. Check me out on Instagram. I'm sorry, not Instagram. Check me out on Facebook, YouTube, and Periscope, Real Estate Connection Radio. And if you missed the show live and you want to hear the podcast, I'm on Apple Podcasts and Podbean at the Real Estate Connection. So God bless you. God bless your family. God bless the state of California. God bless the United States of America. And may you have a fantastic week, and we'll see you here Saturday morning next week on the Real Estate Connection. And I am out. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining me. I appreciate your support as I broadcast live, and we will be doing something next week. I have no idea what it is, but it will not be another market update. But I did want to make sure we got through Santa Clara County. And all you people who voted for Measure E, the tax on yourself, why? Why? If you want to answer that question for me, contact me, info@realestateConnectionRadio.com. Other than that, I'll see you around next week. We were so close. I think we were within 3% of beating that measure. So close. I wish we could have done more. That's all right, though. We got it done. All right, we'll talk to you guys later. I tried. All right, take care. Bye-bye.